I'm Ritu, sometimes known as DJ Ritu. I'm a she, her. I'm a DJ, broadcaster and event producer. My journey as a DJ has been pretty lengthy. It began somewhere in 1986, and so 35 years on, I'm still doing the DJ thing. When I was growing up, there was no kind of template for South Asian young woman to become a DJ. No South Asian parent said, would you like to be a DJ when you grow up? The options were become a lawyer, a doctor, an accountant. And so I fell into DJing completely accidentally. I did what a lot of students do, which was go out clubbing everywhere, all the time, as often as possible. And I loved music. Southall was where we would go to get spices, ginger, chili, etc. I know for my parents it was a real delight to go to the place that my dad called Little India. And growing up in the 60s, the 70s, we didn't have those same resources or outlets in East London at that point. My connection with Southall became renewed in 1988. So through my own choice, I started to go to Southall. The trigger for me reconnecting with Southall was that there was an emerging world music scene in London around 1987, 1988. And one of the very, very first world music clubs that opened up was at the Paradise Club in Islington. The two promoters, Don and Andy, got my number from somewhere, phoned me up and said, we're about to open this brand new world music club called Asia, and we're looking for a Bhangra expert. And I said, And they said, so are you not a Bhangra expert? And I said, no. I'm a pop music expert and a soul and disco and Motown expert. And they said, oh, well, we don't know who else to ask. So, as you're Indian, you are Indian, aren't you? I said, yes. And they said, so would you mind just trying to see if you could put together some sort of demo tape of Bhangra music? And I said, all right, I'll give it a go. It was quite a challenge, to be frank. And after I put the phone down on them, I remembered that I had one Bhangra record, just one. It was Dance with a LARP, and that was it, And I had some Bollywood, some Bollywood albums that we'd bought when I was a child. But the vast majority of my collection was Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, and people like that, really. So I set off on a mission to the old Little India that I'd lost touch with at some point after leaving my parental home. Eventually I found myself in Southall Broadway, and there was a whole range of record shops to choose from. The question was, which one should I use? And I settled upon Verdi's. There was Mrs. Verdi behind the counter. She was quite baffled by me in every respect, but with each album that I put on the counter in front of her, she knew and she got used to the idea that what I needed her to do was just take the vinyl out of the record sleeve, bung it on the record player that was behind her, and just put the needle on the record on each track for literally 10 seconds. That was all I needed to hear. I just needed to, in those 10 seconds per track, I could work out whether this might be something I would play. I didn't know what I was choosing at Verdi's. I just picked the albums with the nicest looking covers, and and I left Verdi's. Mrs. Verdi was a very happy woman. I'd spent a lot of money buying something like 25 albums, Bhangra albums, probably including lots that nobody else would be stupid enough to buy. And I went home and I constructed the worst demo cassette tape that you can imagine. I posted it off to Don Tyler, and didn't really expect to hear back from him, but of course they didn't have anyone else, did they? So that he came back to me and he said, "It's brilliant, it's brilliant." He didn't know any better, and I got the job. I became the resident Bhangra expert at Asia, this brand new world music club in Islington. My relationship with Southall, when it was rekindled for me as an adult through music, it became a lengthy new relationship, and I used to go back probably every two weeks or so. I developed a friendship group that lived there, so that it was on their doorstep. It was a great place to meet them. And I also started a DJ in Southall for organisations like Southall Black Sisters, the Southall Monitoring Group, but particularly for Southall Black Sisters. There were lots and lots of gigs at the Dominion Centre. And I also became very friendly with Kuljit Bumrah, who ran the Keda record label. Used to go and visit him in his studios. I used to drop into the Multitone Records offices. It was just like a grand bazaar for me.